Very disappointed in not winning that game Saturday for Bronco Nation, for our fans, for our community, but especially for our players. The amount of obviously work that goes into prepping for those games for a season, and as you guys can see right behind me, obviously our goal year in and year out here at Boise State is to win a Mountain West championship. And we knew going into that game how pivotal that game was. Also playing Fresno State, being a big rival. But obviously the implications of that game for the championship, breaks my heart that we weren't able to get that win for our team, for our players, for this community. So obviously a lot of things that we need to grow in, continue to grow in defensively, things that we knew from the bye week that we did better against Wyoming, a la tackling, winning third downs. We did not do as well, obviously, on Saturday night. So we're looking at, okay, what were some things maybe we missed from practice? What were some things that we didn't adjust to as well in games or in the game? Because those were two things that showed up a lot. There's multiple third downs, 3 to name, just thinking of them off the top of my head, where we have 2 or at least 3 guys around a ball carrier with 4 or 5 yards to go to the sticks, and we miss that tackle. We get cut back on, and you can't lose those third downs in a game like that with the offense we're playing. Pressure on the quarterback. We weren't able to get it consistent enough to start the game. We were able to get it more as the game went on, which helped us. But then it's also holding up in coverage that we were not able to do as consistently. So obviously you guys saw it. You guys were there live action. We're just kind of giving you guys my quick thoughts on it before we open up for questions. So, but obviously first and foremost, just disappointed obviously not getting that game for this community, for our players. Breaks my heart because that's all the work we put in is to win a Mountain West championship, and not being able to win that game is a big deal.
With what DJ's been kind of battling through, sounds like you guys had a linebacker that was sick too, but for him to play all 70 snaps, what does that say about him?
Oh man, I mean, you talk about a guy that is extremely banged up and finds a way to not only play the game but continue to play relentlessly. Obviously, he's not able to do some of the things that he's normally able to do. That's just the reality of when you're banged up and injured. But he finds a way to play at a very high level in regards to how he pursues, how he plays violently, how he communicates, with still knowing that he's fighting his tail off. And like you said, we had a linebacker that got sick before the game. Marco wasn't able to play the game, getting injured. So there's just some things that happened from Wyoming to kickoff that put DJ in a situation where he went from having to play 20-some snaps to playing 70. And you talk about an absolute warrior that embodies the blue-collar toughness that we want to obviously be in every single one of our players, every single one of our coaches. That's DJ Schramm.
For you guys overall, I think there were 7 guys that played 66 out of 70 snaps, and we could focus on the linebacker spot, but that is a lot of snaps at the college level.
It is a lot of snaps, and right now, obviously, we're working to find ways to build more dependable depth, so in these critical moments, in these critical games, we can be able to rotate guys more. But the reality of it is at this point in the season, we got what we got. We got guys that are working their tail off to earn the right to get more reps, because that's the biggest thing we tell our guys is just because you're maybe number 2 on the depth chart doesn't mean you, at this point, deserve the right to play in games, deserve the right to uphold this standard. And so that needs to be shown in practice, which then will give us as coaching staff and the brothers next to them the trust to go on the field, because that's a huge part of it too. Is if you haven't done enough in practice for your teammates to trust you, me as a coach, I got to make sure that the guys that go on the field, when they look to the right and their left, they know that these guys with them can communicate and do their job, so you can win these critical moments. Because what's, again, very different than the offensive side of the ball is things aren't dictated for one person. It's how we're only as strong as our weakest link. 10 guys can be doing what they're supposed to do, 1 guy not, and you can be exposed, and you can't, there's no redos. And so it's building the depth as the season goes, especially going into week 10, because playing 70, 60 snaps, especially in the front, and I don't care what position you play, it has its wear and tear on your body. And so we've got to continue to find ways to build more dependable depth. But right now, with guys that are injured, guys that are out, we have what we have, and it's enough, and we got to find ways to continue to get guys to continue to grow.
You mentioned some of the third downs. I remember one of some of the really bad spot, but some of the third downs, that the last drive when they got the ball back with 4:40 left after you scored, you got one chance there. It seems like that's been maybe all season one of the bugaboos, just when you guys need that big stop, that big drive. Is that why this year has that been? That's kind of been a staple of Boise State defense to make those plays. Is it just the young players we're talking about, or why do you think that's been so critical this year?
Yeah, to your point, we've been in that spot this season, BJ, and have not executed, be it a 2-minute drill or 4-minute drill essentially on Saturday. and just not executing in those critical moments. Obviously, once again, as defensive coordinator, it's putting them in spots in practice to get them ready for these moments. How are we going to be attacked from an offense? If it's a 4-minute drill where they're trying to kill the clock, or is it a 2-minute drill where we are winning and they're going to go try and get down there and kick a field goal or score a touchdown, win the game? And so, especially in that last drive, what they showed us is what they had shown us throughout the game. And so I think it's twofold. Obviously, first and foremost, making sure they're in the right spots and understanding these situations to win them in critical moments. But then obviously as a group, just doing a better job as we grow, that the route concepts, what we've seen, like that is how we're being attacked, guys. So we got to do a good job from the sideline to how we communicate to our guys. Like this is what we have to defend. So in the most critical moments, a 3rd and 8 where we need to get a stop to get the ball back, they're probably going to come back to similar plays that they've run during the game and being able to win those moments and those critical downs. So there's a lot that goes into it, but we got to find ways to, and we're looking at holistic, we got to find ways to win those moments. We got to get the ball back to our offense. If it's a 2-minute drill, we got to get the stop to win the game. To your point, BJ, we hang our hat on that defensively. And in years prior, we've done a good job. We haven't done a good job this year at that. And once again, that's something that we're looking at to find better ways to do it. And so in these critical moments, we can make those plays, we can make those tackles, so we get off the field and get our offense a chance to win the game.
I'm going to ask you about Andrew Simpson's production a lot, but talking to him after the game, it seems like he's being forced to grow up pretty quickly and step into obviously a larger role when it comes to his leadership. What have you seen out of Andrew in those regards?
Yeah, man, really proud of where Drew is growing, man. I mean, you talk about a young man that, like, and we've talked about him before, that has a really good skill set in regards to what we look for in linebackers, able to blitz, rush, savvy. But he's just in regards to what we've asked for him throughout the year. I mean, if you guys, watching the game, we put him in a lot of different spots on Saturday. And similar to DJ, he played every single snap of defense. From snap 1 to the end, there was not one snap him or DJ Schramm came off the field. And being able to play at a high level, to be on the attack, has been awesome to see. And not only just that, but watching DJ over the past couple of years, he's grown in not only how he preps, the things that he sees from film study that he feels like he can be able to exploit. He's grown now. Obviously still excited where he needs to grow. There's still a lot of parts of his game that I'm excited for him to step into that will even create more production for him. But very excited where he's going, especially these past couple games. He's played his best football, which that's always what you're looking for, is where are we growing to? And Andrew's the kind of guy that obviously defensively you want guys that want to make a play, right? They're not outside of what your job is, but like you want them to run to your side because you're like, Coach, I want to make that play. That's the type of football player he is. He wants to make a play, and he has the confidence that he can make it. And if he doesn't lose it. He just knows, like, well, you better figure that out because I'm coming for you again. And that's what we got to continue to breed with our team. We have some guys that have that, and some guys are not there yet. We need to build that maturity to where that's the razor's edge. You got a desire to make it within the scheme, within your job, but you've got to have that confidence from how you practiced, how you prep, to where you know you can make that play, and you want to and need to. Coach, put the ball down, give us a call, let's go play this game, whoever we're playing, because I'm going to make a play. And building that with a young group. I mean, you look at it outside of DJ, the majority of everybody that played on Saturdays, underclassmen coming back. But at this point, like we've talked about before, it's week 9, week 10. I mean, they've gotten enough reps. Now it's being able to consistently make tackles, win third downs. Have to.
What stands out about New Mexico?
Extremely improved from last year. That's the first thing that I saw when I looked at them. Was I think them as an offensive staff, as a team, did a great job in the offseason, from transfer portal to a new offensive coordinator who brought his quarterback with him from UAB, just a completely revitalized offense. Changed some schematic stuff they do. I mean, their offensive line is one of the best offensive lines we've seen all year in regards to pass protection if you look at their grades, which is impressive, which last year that was not the case. Their quarterback can throw the ball a mile, and they do a good job with number 13, who's a young freshman who's got a really athletic skill set. That not only can he throw the ball, really athletic, they were able to go out and get some receivers that are long on the outside that can run. And so when I watched their film in the bye week a little bit, and then even now, very impressed with just how they're able to revamp their offense in the offseason. I mean, they're putting up 25, 30-some points on everybody they play. And that's impressive to see, and they do it consistently, and they do it in the run and the pass game. They got a really good play-action game and they're able to protect their quarterback. The quarterback's back. They're able to hold on the ball and launch down the field, which is impressed they do. So they've got a good mix. They're about 50-50 in regards to run pass. They do a good job with it, but very impressed with how they've been able to revamp their offense in the offseason, and it shows.
Spencer, when a player leaves in the middle of the season, it's been a couple of years in a row, and no one's happy about that. It's bad news all the way around. What have you noticed from Andy as the head coach and how he handles it and keeps the wagon circled when some turmoil happens? What's impressed you?
Yeah, I think just in general, that's where college football is now, right? You talk about 5 years ago, and that might not be the exact years, but that just didn't really happen. And if it did, it was extremely out of the ordinary. Something probably went down, right? Something where now it's become more and more what college football is. And obviously it's not something you want. You don't want any of your players leaving, especially middle of the season or in season. And so Andy, from a leadership standpoint, has done a great job, obviously handling those situations as they come, as their own situation, because every situation is different. Every player in their situation is different. But not only handling that situation in and of itself, he's done a great job just from our team keeping everybody aligned and keeping everybody moving in the same direction. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the next game. It's all about how we're growing and who's in with us. That's what we talked about to the defense even yesterday was, guys, at the end of the day, that's all you do in life too. Hey, we did not win the game. These are the things we needed to do better, and we didn't do them. Okay, so now how do we fix them? And at the end of the day, we talk about it. We're going to finish what we started here. We're going to finish it the right way. We're going to finish for our seniors. We've got a big-time game on the Blue coming up here this Saturday night. That's all that matters. And as things come up, someone leaves, things that start to pull away from that, the biggest point of emphasis is focused on what do we control and are we all going the right direction. And everybody's in with that. We put in all the work to finish this the right way. And Andy's done a great job from the top down leading that. Just, hey, this is what we're focused on. If things come up where someone leaves or things that even other outside of that come up that might distract, keeping our guys focused on what can you control. We can control on playing New Mexico Saturday night.
Along those lines, you mentioned earlier, no one's happy with the record, no one's happy with where you guys sit. How hungry is this defense to finish things out the right way?
Yeah, extremely hungry. And at the end of the day, it's another opportunity. And that's what we told them. Yes, obviously winning Saturday night, putting ourselves in an opportunity to play in a championship game is why you come to Boise State. That is the standard here. We understand that as a coaching staff, as players. That's why they're here. But the reality of it is we got 3 regular season games left. We've got a home game on the Blue. And like I was talking about earlier, is true competitors that have that real confidence. It doesn't matter where you're playing, who you're playing, coach. Put the ball down, give us a call, and let's go to work. And we're going to play with our brothers next to you. And we just want another opportunity to play together and play well. And so our guys are hungry. We do got a group of guys that are excited to grow. There's some things we did Saturday night that we grew out of that kind of showed up a little bit that we got to make sure we get fixed. And we will. And we will. Our guys are excited to do that. And the fact of it is, like we've talked about, yes, we do have a group that's young, that most of them are all coming back. There's a lot of snaps in that game where all of them are coming back, but it doesn't matter at this point in the season. We've all gotten reps. There's a standard with which we need to play good defense, and we didn't get it done consistently on Saturday against Fresno in critical moments. We lost the game. Now it's our next opportunity, which is New Mexico Saturday night.
I know that how you guys work on tackling has evolved over the last few years in football in general. But going into week 11, game 10, how do you improve that or work on that in season, especially when you're so banged up and things like that?
Yeah, you got to be very intentional with the reps you get, Jay. So the reps we do get at practice, we're not taking anybody to the ground in practice, but the reps you do get to get a wrap on a body, they're less than they were earlier on in the season, but we are still going to get some, and we have to be extremely intentional to get that work. And then in tackling circuits and drills and in individual situations, making sure our guys are in the same tackles they're going to see in a game. So if it's once again, a huge point of emphasis from Fresno State, one of the ones BJ's talking about, we got 3 guys tackling 1 with nobody blocking them with 5 yards to go. We have to maintain our leverage. If I'm an outside in player, you have to stay outside in and not just try and run. Like we didn't do a good job of that on Saturday. So that's going to be drills we're going to work in practice to make sure guys understand their leverage. Now we're not taking guys to the ground, but if I keep my leverage, my body positions the way it should be, then at the end of the day, the violence of it that's going to happen in the game usually can take care of itself if your body's in the right situation and you're using your help so that we can not only win those third downs, we're not playing 2nd and 2, we're playing 2nd and 8, which just to re-hit some other things on Saturday, that's another part. We did a good job stopping the run, but where they were able to get the extension of the run game was the RPO to the perimeter, where instead of tackling it off for 2nd and 8, it was either a missed tackle or a tackle that wasn't a positive angle tackle, so it turned into 1st and 10 or 2nd and 1, and then you're behind the chains and you're consistently working to catch up.
All right, thank y'all.